Hello, and welcome to another Friday. I've got Heather who's still showing in the room, Heather. So if you want to hide yourself, you're totally welcome, or just stay for the entirety of the private chat. There you go. You're like, no thanks, but we love you anyway. We're always happy to have you. I'm just hitting go live on Instagram and assuming I did this correctly, which looks like I did. Happy Friday, July 17th. Today we are doing the CMO reporting subject, and I'm just going to make sure everyone can hear me and I'm using the correct mic. I am. Okay, apologies for everyone for a few seconds late. You know me. This was not unexpected. Hey, Kevin, great to see you. It's raining in Phoenix? No way. Oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, hey, a friend of mine from ABE is in the, hi, you're like down the road from me. Wow. It's rarely do you ever see that 100%. Like, I think I've been in Scottsdale like once when it rained, and I spent maybe 2-3 in a month in. Hello, James. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on IG as well. Guam is like, please send some rain over there with him. Oh my gosh. I was like, I've got friends that are joining again. Hello. Super happy to see you all. Hi. Okay. So I was like, oh, our friends across the broad. I was like, I can't pass everything. So James, hello. Let's see. Does it allow me? Hello. I'm testing. No, I have no idea. Oh, it does work. Sorry. I have Instagram on one screen. We're doing this through Restream so I can see our comments from YouTube and from LinkedIn that's coming in over here. But it's just interesting that Instagram won't do it. It's scary out there quite a bit. The reason I'm a little bit late is my family is in the city of Chicago, and the air is a little orange. So I've been trying to get an air filter. I just got a blue air filter, not sponsored in any way, but I've been liking it a lot. So I'm trying to get Sammy, who's on our team, an air filter, and my mom in Chicago, who's an air filter, to see. And then Heather is looking to see how long that will pass. But anyways, if you're in an area that's been affected by the wildfires, in Canada, whether you're directly in Canada being affected by it or seeing the carryover, sending you as much clean air and sunshine from Orlando, even though it's clearly about to storm outside. So also, Tia, you had listed some stuff on LinkedIn. We're going to get to that in a second. But what I'm excited to share with you all today is the CMO reporting things that I have found really, really helpful in order for us to start scaling brands from $10,000 or $100,000 a month into multi-million-dollar ad accounts because of evaluating the quality of the traffic we're sending. We've got interruptive advertising, which is on social media, whether it's TikTok or Meta. Obviously, Instagram, Facebook is my favorite place to advertise because it's the place I find the most effective at scale. Or if you're using inbound places such as Google or Amazon or Bing. I mean, you can put Amazon in its own space, but we're going to call it inbound because you're actively searching. I have a question. Here's the answer. This is what I'm looking for. And then we'll have interruptive where it's like, I don't want to be bothered by you right now. I am watching dumb folks doing 9 holes of golf in Chicago where it's orange outside. And one of our amazing clients who's in the medical space was saying, essentially, it's like smoking 15 cigarettes by spending time outside. That's what I'm doing on social media. And I'm trying to interrupt that scroll by introducing my product or service or your product or service. So in terms of like, we've got the interruptive platform, that interruptive marketing component to it. It's in our advertising efforts. How do we know that we're sending quality traffic? So that's what I want to cover today. Like as a fractional CMO, as a consultant, as an agency owner, how do I look at the quality of the traffic that I am sending, especially from interruptive solutions? It's true for inbound, yes, but you're usually more hyper-focused. But I want to see the interruptive traffic, the social media traffic, Snapchat, TikTok, Meta, whatever. How is the quality of that traffic? I can get volume at scale, but if I'm not getting quality at scale, we're going to be stuck at that same ad spend threshold, and you're only going to grow as much as you can invest. And I want you to invest heavily without losing your margins. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. A little bit on the before the click. Do we know if the ad itself is an effective ad? And then we also want to know if after the click, how do we know that the traffic our ad brought to our destination, be that the Shopify store, the landing page, like book a call, whatever the end destination is. How do we know if we're sending quality traffic or not? That's what I want to go deeper into today. If you have questions, please feel free to connect. If you're watching this through Restream, what's great is if you signed up for this, we always send the too long don't read, here's the notes, and a bunch of other goodies, access to the replay, of course. So when you sign up, you get rewarded. But if you're joining from us live, you get to participate. I know it's like a weird, I don't know why Restream doesn't let us allow both, but blame them. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of before the click. What we need to look at is when you're driving or when you're renting attention, we're earning attention from people that are in our ecosystems. What our goal of our ads is trying to do is, yes, it's sell, but really it's interrupt. If I can't get you to see my ad, I'll never get you to leave the ad. So we have to look at 3 things first so that we know if the ad is seen, heard, and understood. Stole those 3 words from John Moran himself. I like the way that he described it, so now it's mine. Oh, we should make a bingo card, Heather. By the way, like if you don't know and you're new to this, these are informal, but ideally informative. My team is here and these are acting as trainings. So be ready for silly slip-ups and odds and ends here and there. And I'm going to be talking to Heather specifically, who's in the chat, or members of my team, so that we can iterate for a future. Because this is our training and I'm allowing everyone to be like as much of a fly in the wall they can. And if it's helpful for you, please, please, I don't have to gatekeep or hide how I train my team from your teams. Okay, so anyways, we should make a bingo card where we have like Lauren does her weird evil laugh, or Lauren's lisp comes out, or Lauren plays with her hair 85 times. I don't know, whatever that is. That would be super fun. Back to the before the clicks. When we want to know, did our ad work in the sense of, did it get attention? Was it seen, right? Being seen for the ad means, did it get a hook rate? Did we capture someone's attention for at least 3 seconds? That works really, really well for a video, but doesn't always translate well if it's a non-video. Statics and carousels are great. You're able to see a hook rate on carousels if they're going through, especially if they're posted on stories, but it's not always true across everywhere. So hook rates, we need it to be at least 20%. I own an agency. I'm going to hold my team accountable to a 30% rule, right? Or 25%. This is going to depend on the day and where I am in the time of the month. But if it's less than 20%, I'm not getting at least 1 in 5 people to notice me, right? You have like those blow up dance dolls or whatever that are near the car shops. And I'm like, oh, hello, Kristen. Well, welcome. If you've got those, you're trying to get attention. You're paying for that attention. That's what your cost per mila CPM is. You're spending X amount of money to get in front of 1,000 people. If you're not getting noticed, that's the same as being like a tree that falls and no one's around to hear it. Did it really make a sound? Our ads need to make some sort of notice. If we don't get any type of notice, our impression was a bit of a waste. Nick is here too. Oh my gosh. Yay. Sorry. This whole party is getting great. Hello, Nick. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So when our ads get noticed, then we have the chance, once they're seen, the chance to be heard, where we can convey the message of what we're trying to sell. To get noticed is a hook rate. We want to have a minimum of a 20% hook rate. But if you're hiring competent people, you can hold them to a higher standard. Me, when I'm looking at someone else as a third party, I'm going to hold them to a 40% standard. But in translation team, that's like 25% minimum, 30% target, 40% if you don't work for me. And I'm going to be like, why aren't you good enough? I get it. I'm finicky. I float between, but 20% has to be our floor, guys. If we can't get 1 in 5 people to notice us, then we're spending extra money we don't need to. When we get noticed, that's often from the visual side, which is why the video, it's the first 3 seconds. But your static, like this came from Meta, and I wish I could quote the source. I think I got it in 2022, 2023. About 70 to 85-ish% of all of our initial hook is visual. So you want to create something that's going to stand out, right? Most of the time people are looking on social media on a white background, or like you have, I mean, unless you're in dark mode, you have different ways that you want to stand out when someone is scrolling. We call it thumb stopping, assuming you're on mobile. I'm using my phone for I have a spare one. When you're scrolling, you need to get someone to stop the scroll, right? So if I can get them to thumb stop, pay attention, they were seen. And then I ask them to read after the visual actual piece of your ad. The most important things is going to be the first 125 characters or your headline. So the first 125 characters of your primary text, which leads to see more button on Meta, or the headline, which is a much shorter, hey, free gift with purchase, or watch Lauren's list. See, I knew it was going to come out. Dang it. When you have those type of pieces, you can evaluate what we call like a hook hierarchy. First is visual. Then you've got the verbatim hook. So that's going to be in your primary text, first initial characters before see more, or the headline. And then the tertiary, the third one we're looking at is the storytelling hook. That's how do we keep going? So in order for us to get a hook rate, remember minimum of 20%. I'm going to hold brands, depending on how much you're investing in them, on 40%. You can hold Mongoose Media to 40%. That's allowed too. But I'm going to ask the team, like, it needs to be at least 25. Goal is 30 because we do this at scale, right? So we want to see how our stuff is competing. Now, not every ad's going to be a hit. You're going to miss more than you're going to win. But that's why you can know, like, okay, should I make a different ad? Don't make ads just for the sense of volume. Make ads with the sense of purpose, right? I see that my ads aren't getting enough attention. I'm like, hello, pay attention to me. But the ad isn't working. So if it's not working, then we're going to create a new ad, try to launch it to see if it's going to get more visibility, right? So after our visual hook and the verbatim hook, which in a video is like, what is actually being said verbatim? What is actually being written verbatim, right? Visual hook, then verbatim hook. Third is going to be our storytelling hook. Storytelling hook is what happens to the hold rate. Hold rate is 15 seconds. Are you able to retain the attention that you got long enough to pitch? I don't know anyone who can pitch something in 3 seconds that doesn't involve nudity. Maybe there's some secret formula out there, but let's talk about for the majority of us out there. You need more than 3 seconds to pitch something. You need to be able to establish credibility. You need to build trust, earn that trust. That takes more than 3 seconds. So our hold rate, which is how much time can you continue to sustain, retain that attention so that you can hold it long enough to pitch. That, again, we need it to be at least 20%, at least 20%. So bottom numbers, 20%, and then it becomes another 20%, but it's actually 4% of the whole. The way I look at that is because when I'm reviewing how many people were able to retain attention, I need to be 20% of the minimum 20%, or whoever I was able to capture with the hold rate. I need at least 20% of that to continue on. And if you're doing that within Meta, that's a through play and that's already factored into it. But with the other way, if you're looking at it on other platforms, you're looking at 20% minimum for a hook, 4% minimum of hold. That's at the gross number. And then that allows us, if you saw the ad, I noticed it. Now, did you hear my message? Did I get to communicate with you to at least 15 seconds of through play? And with video, it's more biased because not all accounts will give you hook and hold rates for non-video assets. It depends. I see it. It's inconsistent. Don't blame me. Blame Meta. They have a big system to build. So when we have, was it seen? Was it heard? But then the next most important, before the click number, for us to figure out, is our ad working? If I am evaluating the success of a campaign, if I'm evaluating the investment into a channel, I need to first look at the before the click numbers, hook rate, hold rate, and the most important, link click-through rate. There's quite a few others, see more rate, link, engagement, sentiment rate, all those things do matter, but secondary, my primary number, agnostic to whether it is a video, a carousel, or static, is mean my link click-through rate. Why? Link click-through rate to me is significant enough to say this ad was understood. I understood the assignment. Goal. Leave the ad to go to the destination. The destination might be Facebook Shop. The destination might be Shopify PDP. The destination might be a book a call landing page. I was seen. I was seen. Then I was heard. Seen with visual hook and verbatim hook. I was heard with storytelling hook, which could be the rest of the primary text that's buried under see more, or the rest of the what is spoken or shared in the video, or in the carousel, what continues to tell the story. And then I was understood. You understood that this is good for me. So I click on the button. I'm doing the action that's required of me. When your link click-through rate is under 1%, that is not a good ad. However, there's always a caveat, because is the ad driving the results we want? If it's driving the results we want, we know, okay, link click-through rate is sub 1%. That ad doesn't feel good. There's something about the copy on the ad that's not driving the initial visual component to take the next step. So the visual hook rate is always going to be corresponding to the creative, like the image, the visual. Your hold rate, if it's a video, is the continuation of the video, right? It's continuation of the see more. It's getting someone to listen to 15 seconds of whatever your pitch is, whether they're reading it or they're seeing it. Then the was it understood is the combination of that storytelling to inspire someone to take the first action from what your creative was. So when you're understood, you want to click on the link, and that should be at least 1%. 1% met is good. 2% is great. Anything above 3% is a solid ad and is something to keep investing into. 3% is great. What you're saying is, I'm able to get 1 in 33.3 people to see my ad, or like 1 in 30, let's say 33. 1 in Larry Bird are able to see my ad and understand the assignment and move forward to it. Those are really good numbers when your CPMs are affordable. It changes across different markets, of course, what affordability is to you, but that's what you're trying to get. I want 1 in 30, 1 in 33 people to see my ad and tell me that that's what I'm looking to do with it. Right? I was like, oh, we got more Romanians joining. Hello, hello, hello. I can't say bună dimineața because it's the end. I'll have to remember how to say good evening. Oh no, sorry, I just looked at my tea. I made a puddle. Hold on. Oh no, my desk has this big ring and I don't have a napkin near me. Dang. Oh, I have today's paper. Forgive me. I don't want to make a big milk ring on my desk. Oh no. Okay, this is what I get with not finishing the paper on time. Okay, back to discussions. Oh, Heather, number 1 in Larry Bird. Laurenisms. Yes, we make some, since this is like with the team, we do make funny Laurenisms, and we can add that to this like growing vocabulary of things that I say which don't make sense, but do in my head. But this is my life, my rules. Okay, so we talked about the before the click rates. We're like a third of the way through, so I hope that makes sense. If you are the performance marketer, if you're evaluating the effectiveness of the channel, the effectiveness of the ads that you're doing, looking at before the click metrics for hold rate, no, hook rate, hold rate, link click-through rate. Wow, happy Friday. Oh my gosh, Maureen, welcome to the party. Hope you did great on your tests. Mitch, I don't know if that's your last name or first name, but hello, welcome to you as well. When we have before the click, hook rate, hold rate, link click-through rate, we can see this ad is good. But we need to not look at just those numbers. We need to take into fact the cost per acquisition, because we need to then evaluate, great, this creative gets attention. This is seen, this is heard, this is understood, but is it working? Is it facilitating better acquisition of what you're trying to get? If the answer is no, because we're sending bad traffic, then we need to make the adjustments. And so this is where we're going to go into the second part of this. All right. So what happens after they click? Our link click-through rate, at least 2%, great. People are understanding the assignment. But then how do we evaluate the quality of the traffic that's understanding the assignment? Because it's fine to have 1,000 people be like, oh, this is so interesting to me, but not if 999 of them live in a market you can't serve. Not if 999 of them aren't within a demographic, or they're not, they don't have the liquidity to afford something, or they don't have the academic credentials to invest in, or whatever the criteria it is for them to go deeper, right? If you're doing something that relates to someone's credit score, if 999 out of the 1,000 people have a sub 540 credit, and that's not something that you're going to be able to offer any financing for, or whatever that is, that doesn't mean it's a good ad. It means it's got socialized, it's gotten lots of attention, but we're not communicating effective to Meta, to TikTok, to Snap, to our interruptive marketing platforms, that we need to get better at who we're attracting. There's someone who had said, like, I don't want 1,000 followers, or no, someone like, I don't want 100. There's the influencer who had 100,000 followers and couldn't make a single sale, versus the non-influencer who had 1,000 followers and made 10 grand in an hour. It's not about volume. This isn't organic where you're trying to go viral. I want to go viral with the right audience, or I don't need to go viral at all. I need to be intentional. So I think a lot of the times what we don't look at is, when we're so focused on, is the ad working? Is the ad working? Is we pace this out. Is the ad working? Yep. Hook rate, hold rate, link click-through rate. Those matter. But also, how does it correspond in relation to cost per acquisition? Oh my gosh. Bon matin, Carl. Well, no, that was bon après-midi. I'm happy you're here. Bienvenue from Montreal. The before the click numbers matter, but they can't substitute the after the click performance, which is what's our cost per acquisition. We might have, and I went through this with Ben, an amazing human. Hello, my friend. I haven't even mentioned future qualified conversions yet. So I'm just saying that once for you in case that's on your bingo card. We were going through stuff, and we had ads that were performing from an acquisition standpoint, but weren't hitting all of our hook rate, hold rate, and link click-through rate numbers. But we don't, like, you don't turn off an ad that's performing because it's not hitting it. It just gives you an opportunity to say, like, okay, this creative, this copy, this combination isn't generating for us the end result that we want, or it is, but not the creative. So let's do more. That's when we can go back to the drawing board. What about this is working? How is this resonating? And I think that's the piece that I want to go to that most people neglect. They're like, I just turned on ads and I'm looking at this. I'm bringing everything together for you to evaluate, is your ad working or not? So when we're looking at cost per results, that has to be a factor into it, because you might only have, like, one of the ads, the best ad, at a 0.88. So less than 1 in 100 people who had the chance to engage with the ad actually chose to click on the ad, but it was the best cost per acquisition and volume at scale, which is awesome. But we have a really low link click-through rate. So what do? You look at, hey, there's something about this that is, for those that do decide to click, it's resonating stronger to them. So I know, because of the cost per results and the acquisition at scale, I know that we're getting this in front of the right audience. It's just, we need more of those people so that ideally our link click-through rate can go up. So how do we make sure that we tell Meta, hey, for that 0.8% that are clicking, I want more of them, because right now I'm saturated with volume, which means potentially I am driving a lot of non-qualified attention to that ad, right? That's one theory, but that's what we work on. But that's not where the conversation starts. We need to look after the click, what's happening. What's really great, if you're using analytics and you have dedicated landing pages, or you're using UTMs, you can start to understand the quality of the traffic that you're sending to the page. I am not trying to go viral on my ads. I am not trying to get in front of everyone. I'm trying to get in front of the people that I can serve, the people that my product or my service is most relevant to, right? If you're watching this, you're on my team and getting paid to do this as part of your salary or hourly role. Or ideally, you're in performance marketing, you own a brand, you're trying to understand, in this bloodbath of a system, when you're investing in ads, are you going the right direction to be able to scale, or are you drifting off to a cliff that your bank account won't be able to sustain much longer? If that's not you, you jumped in and you leave because it's not relevant for you. And the part of ensuring that we have relevance, of checking back, doing checks and balances of, am I getting this in front of the right traffic, also takes effect of looking at the after the click numbers. And with analytics and with UTMs, we can see the traffic that's going to that page. How long are they on the page? What's really great is if you're using a video and you're using a tool like Vimeo, you host it on YouTube, and then you have to use an external third party so that the video on your landing page doesn't show the ads and the suggestions right after. Because raise your hand if you have put a video from YouTube on a client's landing page and then saw their competitors show up as the recommendations and thumbnails immediately after the video was finished. I'm just going to assume everyone else is raising their hand because this definitely happens. But it's okay. Like we learn, we grow. Don't let that happen. You have a third-party tool where you can host it on YouTube, which is great because when you're using a tool like Vimeo, pulling from YouTube, you get to count all those views into your YouTube channel. And that's just like amazing when someone goes to your YouTube channel like, wow, this has been viewed 10,000 times. Yeah, because it was on a page you drove a lot of traffic to. Anyways, when we look at how long someone has been on a page, if we look at the scroll depth on that page, if we look at how much video consumption was on that page, there's lots of tools as well where you can build triggers so that we can then take when someone has visited the page, submitted or not, you have it as a holding pattern. When someone has been on the page, you can then send quality of that traffic to your CRM. And then from your CRM using Conversions API and offline uploads, offline data to send back into Meta, send back into your respective ad channel of discerning quality traffic versus the other. However, I need to give a big disclaimer. If you're following my open tab blog, spoiler alert, this is subject matter. If you're not, well, hey, on LinkedIn and on laurenpetrullo.com, we recently launched that. We're doing a LinkedIn newsletter, and I have a blog, laurenpetrullo.com / I don't know, Heather can figure out the URL. blog/open-tab, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. It's on the website. And if you type in shoes, there's a funny Easter egg. But in that, it's a weekly blog that I am writing about where I'm saying, like, what's going on in my mind? What are the open tabs? And one of the things is we found something that we'd been tracking on this subject that I was wrong about. But I wasn't just wrong about it. Like, I've openly talked about this to my competitors, to my peers, to the software brands that we use, to everyone. And we've all been under the same impression that being able to send negative value data back to Meta works. Thank you, Heather. And the subreddit rabbit hole you went down to tell us that that is incorrect. You can send data back to Meta on the quality of your individual, of the people inside of your CRM, but you can't send negative data back to Meta, which contradicts everything that makes sense in the world. But there's other ways that you can do to send negative values of who is bad. You just can't send back negative numbers, which is frustrating. And we've done a lot of that. But after deeper dives, what we found is that Meta through the API is just logging it as 0, nullifying that discrimination against who was a quality lead and then reneging back on it. So you have to do it on the audience segments and do audience definitions inside your advertising settings within Meta, but you still can do it. It's just not the way we wanted to do it. But the way we can send positive values back to Meta. Heather is saying the URL is laurenpetrullo.com/blog/open tab. I was getting there. Okay, great. It'll be published soon. When we want to do this, if you can look at after you've sent all this traffic to an ad, if you can look at the landing page and understand, are you sending quality traffic? If people are bouncing as soon as they get there, if you don't have a tool like Microsoft Clarity, where you're able to understand like heat maps and what type of traffic there is, you're missing out on valuable data to qualify the traffic you're sending it. And I think this is what most people do. I think all junior marketers do it because no one knows how to do it. And most senior marketers neglect it because like, oh, it's in some dashboard somewhere. We have to understand, is the quality of our traffic good? And it can't be just reliant on only, am I generating results or not? We need to look at On average, how long are people spending on a website? Yesterday, one of our clients, they just relaunched a new version of their landing page. Previously, they were getting 3 seconds on average of time for that page. Now we're getting 16 seconds on average of that time. Same ad, no need to change, just the URL was updated. That difference is showing that people on average are spending more and more time consuming more content. Well, when you see that the previous page had nothing to read and now this page is extensive and goes into the deeper, it's more informative. But we can't just look at, is my ad performing? We need to look at, or like, are my ads performing inside of Meta? Are my ads performing inside of TikTok? We need to look at, are my ads generating visibility, seen, heard, and understood? Or are my ads generating results? But there's more to the picture. What's happening once they leave? What's happening after the click? First and foremost, if you don't have at least a 90% landing page view, it means like you assume 10% for Fat Finger FF. You want to make sure you don't just go after Candy Crush players that are like, I'll click anything. Just give me my new heart. That's not what we want. You want to make sure that your page is loading fast enough. So if I'm like, oh yeah, seen, heard, understood, take me to your leader. I want to know what's happening on that sales page. 90% of your audience should load. If it's less than 90% likely, you've got a page speed issue. That's like 9 out of 10 times. Or what we've seen sometimes is malware. Like you can see those type of things. But ideally, you're shooting for 90%. Anything under 80%, you need to escalate to your dev team. Okay. So make sure your landing page views is at least 80%, ideally 90. Then you also want to start understanding from a different source. This is why you can go inside of Google Analytics from the various sources. Is your Snapchat audience spending enough time on the landing page to understand it? We know they saw it because the landing page view loaded your data set. But did they also then hold? Like, did they retain enough information? You can look at your video. Did they consume enough of that data? Did they scroll? Are they spending time? And then are they clicking? Did they understand and fill out the form? So same as like seen, heard, understand that happens before the click. We need to do seen, heard, and understand that happens on the destination immediately after. We can't just say the ads are working because I put the ads in and I look at the results. No, we need to break it down piece by piece to understand what part of the ad is working. Because a lot of the times, and like with all the TikTok videos that I was doing, people will give up on a good ad because they're too lazy to update the landing page to the destination. But we have that numbers. We just have to start looking at this from like the head of marketing, from a CMO's lens, what matters. And it's breaking that down because you can change stuff on a landing page that increases your conversion. But if the ad isn't getting anyone to the landing page, that's when we look at the ad. But I've seen so many times people will turn off ads that have good hook rates, that have good hold rates, that have amazing link click-through rates because the landing page isn't converting. Sending 1,000 people to a landing page that only 3 people submit a free audit for isn't an ad issue in theory because the ads are generating all the traffic. It's a landing page issue. So when you make those changes to the landing page, we make it easier. Are we increasing our conversion from 3 out of 1,000 to 10 out of 1,000 or whatever that gradual increase is? It could be an ad issue where you're sending the wrong traffic. Then we can evaluate. With a different client, we realized that one of our offers was attracting a market that didn't have the liquidity to afford their $6,000 a year deal. Well, it makes sense. We look back and evaluate. It's like, well, hey, everything about this is talking. If you don't have money, here's a great solution for you. While there are products that support it, it's not going after our ideal avatar. There's so many things that can go in to determine whether or not your ad is working. It's not always a setup. It's not always the audience. It's actually like your funnel. Let's understand the traffic you're bringing in and the traffic you're sending to your page. Are they cohesive and are they aligned to the audience that is willing and able and interested to buy your product or service? Before the click, hook, hold, and link click-through rate. After the click on the destination, we still have the seen, heard, and understood, which is going to be like, did they load the page to see it? Did they hear what's on the page, watch any part of the video, scroll any part of the page to understand that, yeah, signing up for this is a great idea for me. Adding this to my cart, amazing. The numbers will change a little bit if we're doing lead gen versus software trial versus e-commerce. But that's the thing. We need to start looking at seen, heard, and understood before the click and after the click. Then we have another Laurenism. I was like, I wonder who would be the first on the team to guess the next piece that I'm going to be talking about in our reporting, how we have to start looking at the success of campaigns in broader and narrower lines. No one said it first, so I'm going to say it. So we have before the click, we have after click, and then we have the after the Clickety-Clackety-Click. I know it's a mouthful, but this is fun, and why not have fun? So the after the Clickety-Clackety, yeah, there we go. Heather got it. I talk faster than you type. The Clickety-Clack. That is, I got someone to understand the next step. Add to cart, submit, sign up, download, whatever that destination's call to action is. Then we have what happens next. That will help us understand the quality of the traffic, but we need to then do the next piece. Heather was saying this was so fun to type. I'm glad. So after the Clickety-Clackety-Click, it's just, you got them to sign up. Now what? We are still under the lens of how is the quality of our traffic? What I like to do is understand, do we have proof of life? I need to know if this is an active subscriber that's signing up. Is this an active person? Or is it a bot? Or is it a competitor? Or is it garbage traffic? So what I like looking at is if you're in lead gen and someone is signed up or subscribed to something, then they're going into your ecosystem. You have an immediate text, call, or email that's going out. Of course, speed to lead is a concern. But when you have automations that send a pushed voicemail, a text message, or an email out immediately, how fast does that go out is a huge factor. So let's assume it's immediate because you have the automation and it lands in inbox because you're using some sort of, like you've looked at your DChem, SVF, and all those records. So let's assume it's landing in inbox. Let's assume it's sent out immediately. If someone's signing up for something, they need to get access to it. If the access is inside, the link is in the text, the link is in the email. You can have trigger links that say, I'm looking for this. Because if, say, you're giving away a free thing, we have to go with what's on my desk. What's on my desk? I used this last week. Oh, okay. I'm a big reader. Although I'm like slow. I like haven't finished a book in a whole week. So, well, I hope I know. I was like 3 books out. I'm over 50 for the year. And I've got this wireless remote control. It's like a TikTok clicker, but I use it for my Kindle. Heather, shocked. Oh, that I haven't finished a book in a week. I know. I was like, this sounds like a Goodreads. I've started like 3 though. So this is whatever they call it, a TikTok clicker. I got it specifically for my Kindle because for my Paperwhite, I don't want to go swipe. I just want to click, click, click. But anyways, let's say there's someone that's like this. I don't know. I think it costs like $20 because I bought the one that has the case with it. If I'm getting people that are interested in a TikTok clicker, I might have 3 unhinged reasons that will convince your super financially conservative partner into getting this for you. I was like, oh, Chantal, hello, welcome. So when we have, like, say that's the lead magnet we're trying to do, I get someone to sign up for this. They're like unhinged reasons why this is going to be the only gift to give every social media obsessed individual and every avid reader to get this. And they're like, yeah, give me the unhinged list. I sign up and then I don't look at the unhinged list. I told you I was interested, but I lied. If I'm not going to access it right away, I either got distracted so someone else rented my attention better, or I wasn't actually interested, or you didn't land in inbox. But we already made the assumption that you landed in inbox. So we have to understand the quality of our traffic, because if someone's signing up for something for free, you say you want it, I give it to you, and you don't do anything with it, like, what the heck? That's not good traffic. It could be distracted traffic. That's okay. So ideally, we remind them again. We have our emails and we have our database, lifestyle marketing. There's other ways that we can interact with that brand. But if we don't start measuring the quality of the people that we're getting that say, yes, I want this unhinged list of reasons why your partner is going to say, let's stick to readers, right? You're going to be like, oh, you're obsessed with book talk. Oh my gosh, there's no other reason why I shouldn't get you this thing, because even though I'm cheap, and don't want to like spend money, if I read these 3 unhinged reasons and I'm convinced that this clicker is going to be the greatest thing to add to your Kindle list, I'll look like a superhero. If I say I'm interested in it because I added my email to your list and then I do nothing with it, I'm either distracted or I lied. And I'm not saying that's everyone. I just have to make a clear cut so that I can train the algorithm to go after the quality of traffic I really want. Because if I say I'm okay with people that are like, I kind of want it, I'm just busy or I'm easily distracted. No, I want the people that are like, oh my gosh, I need this unhinged list right now. Those are a higher quality audience. And so we need to start looking at the numbers of what is our cost per quality subscriber. So when we're looking at cost per subscriber, I mean, I call subscribers anyone that signs up who's interested in what you have to say. And a lead is anyone who signs up who's interested in what you have to sell. I'm not telling someone as a quality subscriber unless they've shown me proof of life, unless they've given me some sort of activity, ideally from the text, email, or whatever that follow-up is. So they say, hey, I'm not a bot. I was like trying to get this out for you because it's pink, obviously. So if I'm going to convince you to get this, I'm giving you a free lead magnet, or maybe I'm giving you a buy 1, get 6 free coupon code, and you sign up and you do nothing with it, you're garbage traffic to me. You're a future qualified conversion. Maybe later you'll help. I paid for you, so hopefully I'll convince you later. But most immediately, I'm trying to liquidate my ad spend, and I can't get your attention right now. So what we can do is in our conversions API and inside of our CRM, if someone does click on that email, on that text, or do something, we can update their CRM status. We can send a signal back to Meta that this is a better subscriber than the person who just ghosted us. And if you are running performance marketing, if you're head of marketing for your team, and we're not looking at the number of people that are actually trying to see if it will charge from my iPhone charger. Will it? Maybe. I think so. It's been around. If we're not measuring the success of our campaigns and looking at those numbers, we're just bringing volume at scale. And that's not what any of the brands want. That's not what any of your team should be measuring. And that's a quick way to go bankrupt. You can go bankrupt in one of 2 ways. One is overspending on labor. The other is overspending on marketing. So if we want to drift back to our target goal, we need to start looking at the numbers more effectively. Seen, heard, and understood of what's happening before the click. Seen, heard, and understand what's happening before the click and after the click, right? And then also seen, heard, understanding what's happening after the clickety-clackety-click. We have to see is the quality of traffic we've sent, a list of people that are qualified and interested in what we have to buy, or is it trash traffic? I know I feel like I'm like repeating a lot of things, but it's easy. And like I've done this in the past too, where the only numbers I was measuring, I was like, oh, look, results, here you go. No. I need to break that results down. I can't look at just one number and say, it's a winner. We're smarter than that. And we have like Claude and all these AI tools to help you, right? I need to look at, are the ads themselves getting in front of the right audience? Are they being seen, heard, and understood? Then is the landing page we're sending them to being seen, heard, and understood to inspire the next action, add to cart, download, whatever that is. Watch the video. If I'm not inspiring action, why am I going to assume I'm going to be inspired in my bank account? So we look at the results, but then we zoom in before the click, we zoom in after the click, and then we also have to take into account what is happening. We sent them to a page, asked them to sign up. We sent them a page, asked them to add to cart. But are they actually doing it? Like what's great with like e-commerce, you're able to set up like abandoned cart, abandoned checkouts. There's a lot of those things that e-commerce does automatically. But lead gen, we're not doing that. And where I'm going to say what is an abandoned checkout or an abandoned cart is you signed up for the asset, but then you didn't look at it. It's free. I'm saying, hey, I'm at Costco. Here's your sample, right? Like, here's your free quesadilla bite. I'm holding it to you like, oh, that looks good. And then you walk away. Or like you hold it and you take it. You're like, I'm going to take my little sample of a quesadilla bite. And they're just holding it with you all throughout Costco shopping. What? Doesn't make sense. I want you to come back for seconds. So we need to start looking at, did they eat the quesadilla? And think about if you're lead gen or SaaS, following that abandoned cart and abandoned checkout model so that we can retain stronger traffic. And if we're not doing it, and we're not like trying to like re-advertise or re-engage people that said they wanted it, and we just keep going after new, we're not training the algorithm in a scalable way, because you need to have more numbers to have more optimization. I say average data leads to average optimization, but if you want to get better data, it's volume and it's quality. And one of the easiest ways you can get quality is by importing numbers back into the success of people's actions on your landing page, and importing numbers back into your ad systems on the success of people in your CRM, of what their activity is. Yes, you can have it of like different steps in your pipeline. That's easy and obvious. What I'm asking you to do when you're looking at reporting is to hold your team accountable and to ask of your brands ways that you can get visibility so that you're not looking at the obvious and you're going into the trenches. And those trenches are helping us decide, is it the ad? Is it the landing page? Is it the engagement follow-up sequence? You might find out. And a client of ours went through this before they hired us. But what's great is they have an amazing team lead that went deep and questioned everything and found that for 4 months, none of their emails got delivered in inbox. So they're like, what's happening? We've had this gradual decline of signups. And so then this brilliant woman out of New York was like, well, hey, what's the bigger picture here? She found in the after the Clickety-Clack, all of those emails were ending up in spam. So something happened. Someone toasted their domain name. And with that inability to get in front of the audience we actually want to get in front of, their numbers declined. And what was the solution? What was the ad agency recommending? To spend more money. You want to spend more money. They ended up spending $30,000 a month more to try to get the volume back up. All you're doing is spending money into an email that's not getting landed. So while they're hitting numbers with the increase of ad spend, it's because they're finding people that are like, I'm so ready. I don't get your stuff. I'm just going to call and keep signing up because you don't have the ability to chase me. So you have to spend a $30,000 amount more to get after the people who are going to chase back. Wouldn't it be better to get the same amount of volume and still get those people who will chase back without spending $30,000 more? So anyways, that's where it's like, what I really want to cover when we're looking at the CMO reporting is we can't look at things in isolation. Mongoose Media, we have the troop. So each account has an account manager, reporting specialist, a growth specialist, a conversion architect, and a creative strategist. A full high five. Yeah, right? We need to have everything looking at it, because if we don't, and say like what people are used to is like a single media buyer, which is what an individual can do that you can hire off of Upwork or Fiverr. But what an agency can provide is multiple lens, looking at how our stuff, we have a focus point of creative strategist looking at before the click, conversion architect looking at the after the click, and a little bit of the after clickety-clackety-click. Reporting, making sure that all the numbers have parity across all the ecosystems. Account manager, making sure communication, right? And the growth specialist who's like in charge of it all. Media buyer, but bippity boppity better. Oh, that was new. I was like bippity boppity BS, but I like bippity boppity better. When you have all those come together and the conversations of people in sync allows us to look at the success of a campaign from a wider lens. So when you are trying to understand, are my ads working? I get this asked all the time. How do I know if my ads are working? You have to look at the big picture. Are you generating the results? And are you self-liquidating? Of course. But then we have to zoom in before the click. Do you have a good hook rate, hold rate, and link click-through rate? After the click, seen, heard, and understood. Are people loading the page? Are people spending time on the page? Are people submitting on the page? And then after clickety-clackety-click, seen. Did your email or text message get delivered? Right? What's your deliverability? Heard. Did it get opened? Now, open rates, not real numbers anymore. Thank you, iOS 15, I think. And then understood. Did they click on the link to take the next step? You have the ability to, you don't have to gatekeep and put it into the text message. You might have your thank you page, and you can have the continuation. But marketing is all about attract, micro action, attract and action, attract and action. And I think a lot of the times that I'm grateful for, I've had agency for 8 years. I have worked alongside really big brands with marketing budgets that would make you sweat, both at Disney and other corporations. And what I in my now experience age, one of my doctors recently called me geriatric. That was not polite. But in this experience, geriatric level of experience, right? I've been doing this for longer than I'm willing to admit. Being able to zoom out and zoom in on different pieces allow us to make more strategic decisions and understand, is this an offer problem? Is this a creative problem? Is this a conversion problem? And we have to stop saying, oh, this working, then that, and doing if then that. Again, I'm grateful for having the size of the agency and having the team for us to all come at it from a different lens. Where is it the creative? Is it the conversion? Is it the offer? Sometimes you just have a bad offer. Sometimes you have a great offer that no one will see. You can have the best offer in the world, but if you have crap ads that are attracting crap traffic, no one cares. So that's my CMO venting. And hold on, just want to make sure. Just sending a message, Heather, into our private. I just want to go over, like, this is how we need to zoom out and zoom in to understand if something is working. Because I get asked on a daily, what feels like hourly basis, well, how do I know if it's working? Well, it depends. Hopefully in today's conversation, it brings that up. I mean, team, for you guys, a lot of this is ideally familiar, but we have a couple minutes left. I want to just check back in. Some of this is new for you. Some of this isn't. Before we sign off, are there any questions of clarity? I tried to really slow this down today so that we can look at before the click, after clickety-clackety-click, and know that our whole intention, is to rent attention, earn their trust, to convert their cash, right? So how do we do this? How do we slow down to scale fast? So Mattia, Bozic, just saying hi. I'm no longer part of Perpetual Traffic. Ralph has got it. He's running it all. It was like the most amazing experience I've ever had. I know that John has been on a lot of episodes and they're continuing doing stuff with Ad Lab. So while I'm sorry you miss hearing me on the show, I do miss being there. I mean, Ralph was awesome. We had so many things, but I don't know, I think I was there for almost 2 or 3 years. So exciting things coming down the pipeline. And hopefully this helps feed that little FOMO of missing it. It's just less organized and less back and forth, but definitely more of a transparent type of situation. Because like I said, my team is here, and anyone that is interested in this kind of stuff, it's verbatim how I'm training my team. Well, I'm glad that you're saying that the speed being slow, helping us recover a lot of these things. I need to make sure that we're looking at the bigger picture so that we're not losing the tree in a forest, right? We're not focused on one tree and losing the forest. I think I flipped it. Heather, appreciate the authenticity. I'm glad. Marcel, welcome. Glad to have you on. We are in the last couple of minutes. So unless anyone else has other questions, you're welcome to, I think, go back. But Marcel, if any of this information is interesting for you, you can go ahead and check on YouTube where you can watch the replay. But also, if you had signed up, you get all the cheat sheet goodies and the things that I would do because I'm so busy. I don't know if I would sit and listen to me for an hour. But if you did sign up, you can have this. We come live every Friday the 3rd. But I do need to give a heads up disclaimer. August 20th, I'm going to be doing out of country. And then August 27th, we're going to move to a different day because I will be on a plane leaving country. So heads up on that. But otherwise, it's every Friday at 3:00. Thank you for everyone that was able to jump in. I appreciate you all giving me the time and team for how hard you work. Happy Friday, everyone. 2 more days till we have our World Cup winner, right? What's the date? Oh my gosh, it's Friday. I've been watching these games for hours nonstop. So, right. Heather, that's fair. Rumor is that there's a 24-hour stream in the works soon too. So if you're not sick of me, just know that that's a very big possibility. Cough, cough. September 5th. Maybe. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy weekend. Maureen, hope you crushed on your test. Everyone, hope you're breathing as best of air as you can. Enjoy the rain. Kevin, good luck on traffic. I imagine all of Arizona is essentially shutting down. please have a great and productive Q2. Ciao, everyone.